Okay, here is your instructional video for your 5th grade writing class. I'm going to go through getting started and the tasks that you need to do in Unit 1. So the first thing you need to do is go to your Google Drive, your parents' Google Drive, wherever you've got the folder that I've sent you to hold all of your EPIC information in. Usually it will say your last name, first name, and it's the folder that I've shared with you. In that folder, it should say, for example, Goodnow Shanna 5th grade writing elective. You'll click on that folder, and then you've got 3 folders within that. You've got the writing course, the student work, and then the tools. We'll go first into the writing course folder. This folder has the elective overview, so it has all the information that you are going to do this year in your writing course. It's got your due dates document. It's got the syllabus, which is, again, a lot of information about the whole year. And then it's got writing instructions for Unit 1. The first thing that I want to look at and show you on this video is the 5th grade writing due dates, because this is kind of a weird looking document and I want to make sure everybody notices something. So you'll see over here we have Unit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the assignment, and then the due dates. Now if you look very closely here, you'll see that the due dates are not in order of the unit number. I did that for a reason. This year, all 5th graders will be taking the state writing test at the end of February. So in order to make sure we get everything done by that date, I had to go in and I had to make some adjustments. Particularly right here, you'll notice units 11, 12, and 13 are your OCCT narrative prompt, opinion prompt, informational prompt. Those we're all going to do in February right before we take the writing test. So you'll have that kind of language and the kind of tasks you're going to need to know in your head. Make sure you've seen the due dates. You can print them off. You just can write them down. You can just remember where they are, whatever you need to do to help you remember the due dates. So then next I can go back over here and I can look at the student work folder. You'll see here Unit 1 work. You'll notice it's empty. When you finish your work for Unit 1, you're going to save it all to this folder. That way I can see it, I can edit it, I can make comments on it for you. You can see it, your parents can see it, I can see it. So it's a big shared folder where you're going to keep all your work. If you don't put it in that folder, I can't see it and I don't know that you've done it. So it's very important that you save your work to this folder. The next one is the tools. You'll see there's a whole bunch of folders in here too. Unit 1, Resources 5th. We'll click on that for Unit 1. So you'll see, what we'll see here in just a second is you're going to write an autobiography for this unit. In here we've got the Unit 1 Resources document. This is a document that has links to different sites that provide bits of help and resources that you can use for writing your autobiography. If it's not on the instruction sheet, it's not required, but it's here and it's optional, and all you have to do is click on these and it'll take you to the site that has the information on it. So this is the Unit 1 resources. There's topics for an autobiography. So there's an idea for you there. There's another one here. Just to help you get an idea of where to start. In here, I've also included some different documents. This writing checklist you're going to have to use. We'll look at that here in just a second. Transitional words and phrases. We'll look at that in a sec. And then the rest of these are just kind of here for you to have. This Pizzazz is a document that suggests different ways to make your writing interesting. Copy of editing marks. I would suggest either printing this or saving this in a handy spot so that you get used to using these editing marks. We'll do some more of that later on. Go back out to my tools. Cubbing the prompt. This is a very good presentation on the strategy for cub the prompt, circle, underline, and bracket. And you'll be doing that as part of your instructions. I'll walk through it here in just a second, but this is a good PowerPoint to go through just to get an idea of how to use it. Here's some graphic organizers that you can use. Practice OCCT prompts, which we will use later. You don't have to worry about those now. Sample rubrics, standards for 5th grade. So that's all in their tools. So we'll go back here to the beginning. How do I get started? So the first thing you're going to do is go to the Unit 1 writing instructions and pull up this document. And here are your instructions for completing Unit 1. So first of all, you need to decide on the topic of your autobiography. In that Unit 1 resources folder in your tools that we just looked at, as I showed you, there's some different documents that have some ideas on how to get started. After you decide on what the topic of your autobiography is going to be, we're going to get started on writing an essay and what the elements are. First thing we need to do is use pre-writing strategies, brainstorming, graphic organizers, and then there's a worksheet in the Unit 1 resources that you can use to organize your ideas to get an idea of what you can include in your autobiography. I also added some videos on the Discovery Education website that you can watch that will give you just some ideas on pre-writing strategies and how to get started and what exactly is an autobiography. Those are optional. You do have access to Discovery Education with your regular username and password that you use to get into Compass or A+. But those are some ideas, some videos that will give you ideas. They're kind of old and hokey, and I know they're not super exciting, but they are a little bit helpful to get a different perspective on how to get started. So once you've done your pre-writing, you did your brainstorming, you know kind of what you want to do, we need to get started on your introductory paragraph. In the Unit 1 resources folder, there is a document called Sample Introductory Paragraphs. So, okay, and here's the document. So you're going to pull up the Sample Introductory Paragraph document, and it has definitions of the different parts. It has samples of introductory paragraphs. And what you're going to do is you're going to take this document and you're going to identify the 3 parts of the introduction: the hook, comments, background, on topic, and the thesis statement. Circle the hook, underline the comments in the background, bracket the thesis statement. This is what we talked about, that cub strategy. So that's why it might be a good idea to go through and look at that PowerPoint. After you've done that, you can either print it out and do it. You can use the tools on here. Either way, after you've taken this and edited it, I want you to save it in that student work folder so that I can go back and look at it. So again, you can circle or highlight if you're going to do it on the computer. That's fine if you highlight it. Underline and then bracket. Okay. Next thing you're going to do is you're going to write 3 different hook statements. You can send them to me to look over, or you can have a family member read them and decide which one is the best. So you want to decide on a hook statement for your autobiography. Then you're going to write 6 comments on the topic, which is you or your life, and you're going to pick 3 of them to use. Again, you can send them to me. You can have mom, dad, sister, brother, friend, whoever you want, look at them and help you decide. Next comes a thesis statement. Make sure you understand what a thesis statement is. Look through that resources folder if you're not sure to help you find out what a thesis statement is. Construct 3 thesis statements for your autobiography. You choose the best one. Have somebody help you. And the last thing that you're going to do on that part is write your introductory paragraph. You After you write it, I want you to use the CUB strategy to identify the three elements to make sure that they're in your thesis statement, your introduction. You want to make sure you have a hook, you want to make sure you have the comments in the background, and you want to make sure that you have a thesis statement. After you've done that, we can move on to the supporting paragraphs. You're going to use the 3 comments that you used in your introduction to make your body of your essay, the body of your autobiography. So construct 3 introductory sentences for 3 separate paragraphs for the body of your essay. Just 3 introductory sentences right now. Don't write a whole paragraph at one time. Just go through and do the introductory sentences first. Then, after you're sure that you've got a good introductory sentence for at least 3 different paragraphs, you can finish using the details. Then I have a document in your resources folder called Transitional Words and Phrases. Look through here, and I want you to choose at least 3, ideally 3, to use in your autobiographical essay. If you have 4 paragraphs, you need to choose 4. But that will give you an idea of how to go from one paragraph to the next. So after we've written our supporting paragraphs, we're going to work on our concluding paragraph. You're going to write a summary statement. You want to restate your thesis sentence, your topic sentence. You're going to construct 3 summary statements and choose the best one. Again, I'm happy to look over it for you. You can have mom, dad, sister, brother, friend, whoever you want, help you decide on the best summary statement. Do your final thought. Create 3 final thoughts and choose the best one. Make sure you summarize the points of your paper and write your concluding paragraph. In your Unit 1 resources, in that document that says right here, Unit 1 Resources 5th, there's some links that can help you write a concluding paragraph if you're not sure how to do it. Then the last thing we're going to do, finally, you're going to combine all of these things you've already done and to make your rough draft. Then you're going to use this writer's checklist to go through and make sure that you've done all the different parts and all the different steps that you need to do to write your autobiography. You're going to use editing marks on your rough draft. Print it out, or if you want to handwrite it first, you can. Go through and edit it, look at it, read it over at least 2 times. Make sure you look at it carefully. You're going to construct your final draft and then publish it to your student work folder on the Google Drive. So this is your instructions for completing Unit 1. I know this looks like a whole bunch of work, but just remember, we're using all of these things to get to the final part here. So you're not going to do all of these are just separate assignments, and they're not going to be going towards anything. Everything you do here is going to come and create your rough draft and your final draft here. This is Unit 1, and I will be working on getting your instructions for Unit 2 and the rest of your units. But I wanted you all to have a video on kind of how to get started, how to navigate through this writing elective here. I want you guys to try and stick to the due dates as much as possible. I know that today is the 22nd, and I'm asking that this is due by the 10th. If you're having trouble getting it done, you don't think you're going to get it done on time, let me know. Talk to me. We can work through it. But you do have to take the writing test in February, so it is kind of important that we stay on task and stay on top of this because we want everybody to be successful and score at least a satisfactory. We would love all advanced scores on the writing course, and I know you guys can do it. So let me know if you have questions. This is your 5th grade writing class.